What's up, guys? It's Chaz and Charlie, and today I want to discuss what if you or I or whoever relapses on weed. Okay, I take it if you're watching this video, you may have started your journey on marijuana sobriety, and like many of us, we a lot of times fail the first, second, third, and fourth time. So I want to encourage you guys to not be so down in the dumps when you do relapse. A lot of times, there are some people who can quit the first time and never go back. There are some who may, like myself, I tried to wing myself off. I guess you can say, wing myself off over a course of a couple years, but I would, you can say, go back into smoking more and more, or to kind of pick up my usage back up. And there are times where I said I'm not going to smoke for the next couple weeks, and within 3 days, something happens. I get mad, I get angry, I get anxious, and I say, I'm going to smoke in a couple days anyway, so why not just smoke now? Or maybe you have went like a few months or 6 months or a full year without smoking, and then something bad happens and you pick the joint up, put it to your lips, and you feel like you've failed at life, and I'm not cut out for this, or I suck, or you go through this real self-pity moment. But it's normal to have a relapse, especially on something like weed. Now, we know something like more hardcore drugs, you relapsing can lead off into a deeper spiral. But something like a joint or a blunt, you can easily dust yourself off and just try it again. I will say a major part when you do relapse, when you have a hiccup or have a mistake, is to find out why you made that mistake and try not to make the same mistake over again. You can relapse for many different reasons. The first time, it may be you're around your old friends, they're smoking, a little peer pressure, and so you know what, you were trying to hang out with your friends. It may be you had a death in the family or death of a close friend, and you want to smoke to ease the pain. You may just broke up with somebody and you want to smoke. You may have simply passed a car and smelled some weed and said, oh, that really triggered me, let me go buy a bag. I mean, there are many reasons that we can relapse. So I will say a big part of relapsing is try not to make the same mistake over again. Realize where you made a mistake and try to come up with a game plan to not fall under that same trap the next time. And like I said, it may come another time where something completely new trips you up, and then you learn from that and find out how to not fall under that same trap again. The whole key to sobriety and it being like a long thing that lasts for a long period of time is you learning yourself, learning your triggers, and not actually succumbing to them. Do you think anybody that's on their journey, it just went smooth sailing, no issues, no hiccups? They tried it the first time and they were successful. I mean, there are some exceptions, but in most cases, you're going to have a hiccup. You're going to have a relapse, but don't linger in it. Don't fall in that. Just learn from it, move on, pick yourself back up, and that just comes with the journey. If you're on a journey, accept that you're going to make a mistake. Accept that. Don't look at it like I'm never going to have a relapse. Is I'm done from here on out. Now, again, Don't self-sabotage yourself and do the same thing over again. I believe you should only make the same mistake a couple times. After that, you know what's going to trigger you. You know what position you should not put yourself in to fall under that same trap. Don't self-sabotage yourself. Again, I found in many cases when people actually do smoke again or relapse on weed, they realize it actually wasn't that great in the first place. You don't get the same feeling of comfort that you got when you were smoking it on a daily or a weekly basis. So a lot of times maybe it's good to have that relapse to find out why you shouldn't do it, or realize, it's not that great after all. But don't sit in the relapse and be like, because I slipped up one time, I'm just going to throw in a towel. Relapses, hiccups just come with any journey, whether you're trying to quit weed, whether you're on a weight loss journey, whether you're on a budget journey, whatever career path you're on. If anything came with extreme ease and no hiccups, then we want to appreciate the journey when we get over to the other side. So if you are now on a sobriety journey from weed, have you had a hiccup? Have you had a relapse? Now, personally, I did. Once I finally quit, I didn't have an actual relapse, but I think it's because I chose to wing myself off slowly and slowly. Now, I will say be wary of trying to wing yourself off, because you can fall into the trap of slowly going back to your old ways. Now, like I said, I got down to smoking every other week, or smoking one blunt in a day, or smoking a blunt every other day. And before I knew it, I'll let something happen, or get mad about it, some at the job, or have an issue with my wife, or go through some type of issue that will just simply see somebody who's also smoking, and before I know it, I'm back smoking more and more in a week's time. So I did try to make myself cognitive of knowing when I was doing that, so I wouldn't fall back into my old ways. So even with winging yourself off, you can't be stagnant, and it is possible that you could, one day smoke more than you did the next day, but don't stick in that, and just recognize where you are having your misstep and correct that to eventually. But I encourage you, wherever you are, whether you're on 30 days or whether you're on 6 months or a year, and you have a misstep, it's normal. It happens. Don't continue to define yourself based on that misstep, but just, like I said, realize where you made the mistake and try not to make that same mistake the second time. So if you guys are on your journey, let me know how it's going. Is it easy for you to fall into a relapse, or have you went, let's say, a year and had a misstep? Was it easier to get back on track, or whatever the case? But comment below. Till next time, guys, like, subscribe, share, and remember, we are all in this together.
Do you think it's time for you to quit cannabis? Well, I encourage you to make that transition to a new life, free from the chains of weed addiction. It's up to you to make that change, but sometimes we may need a little guided help. So I created a 30-day guided journal to quit cannabis. This journal helps you go through a 30-day process to create a new life. I am a strong believer of people helping themselves, but without being told what to do like a child. But we do need to be steered in the right direction sometimes. Each day focuses on a thought or idea for that day and prompts you to write down your own thoughts and your own reasons. This will help you understand yourself and your addiction. By the end of the 30 days, you will see a clear path on how to create a new life of marijuana sobriety. If you need the motivation to take control like I did, please visit Amazon to purchase the 30-day guided journal to quit cannabis. Your future self will thank you.